These are the 5 financial foundation factors that you need to do in order to set yourself up for major success. It's a very, very powerful thing. As long as you are consistent and disciplined to do it, it will it will just intrinsically bless you. I'm DB the teacher, and my hair is brown. I was going for a dark brown. It didn't work. Don't judge me. Judge your mama. Let's get into it, y'all. Peace and blessings, y'all. I am DB the teacher, and I'm happy that you all are back. I'm giving you everything that I can when it comes to personal finance. So please like, subscribe, hit the notification button so you can stay in tune with all the things that I'm going to be providing you all in the future. On this video, I want to really specifically hone in on the 5 financial foundational factors that's going to propel you all to the sky. All right. It's going to help a lot of you all with your mindset, and it's going to give you all some of the ammunition that you need in order to move forward. Now, I'm going to do this by giving you all 5 things. But before we get into that, I want to make sure that you all understand there are two significant traits that you all must have. All right. And the way that I want you all to think about this, let's look at it like this. I want you all to think of a CD. Yes, a CD. All right. And again, if you are judging me, go judge your mama. A CD. The traits that I want you all to have is consistency and discipline. I'm going to look at my notes so I can make sure that I'm reading this perfectly. So when it comes to consistency, you must show up on a consistent basis. It is a must-have. It is a non-negotiable. Let me give you the definition of what consistency or being consistent means. It is acting or done in the same way over time, especially so as to be fair or accurate. Consistency essentially says that regardless of how difficult or even easy, because there are going to be certain things that's so easy, you just don't want to do it or you don't want to show up for it. You are going to show up to complete it, regardless of how hard, easy, how much time you feel like you don't have or you do have. It's going to challenge your time management. It's going to challenge you in ways that you just never thought was possible. But if you are able to show up in a consistent manner, I can almost guarantee you that you are going to be successful. The second thing, discipline. Now, this is the part that really hurts people. All right. Discipline doesn't feel good all the time. And it is not something that I'm going to sugarcoat and say that, yeah, it's just going to be easy for you to do this stuff. At times, it's going to feel just very challenging because you're going to want to do what you want to do when you want to do it, because you are the person that's working for it. You are the person that's sacrificing for it. You are the person that's giving you're doing all these things, and you're going to at times want what you want. However, I'm asking you to get past that, overcome that. Delayed gratification is your friend. All right. So let's read the definition of discipline. Some people love it. Some people don't. Discipline, the practice of training people to obey rules or a code of behavior using punishment to correct disobedience. Now, I could have left that using punishment to correct disobedient part out, but a good amount of people need to hear that because it does play a factor when it comes to your finances. Let me give you all a piece of scripture that's going to align with the significance of discipline. So if you go to Hebrews 12 and 11, it says, "No discipline seems pleasant at the time, but painful. Later on, however, it produces a harvest of righteousness and peace by those who've been trained by it." Notice it used that word trained by it. It states that in the beginning, it's not going to feel good. It's going to be difficult. It's going to tug at you. But if you continue to stay consistent, CD, it's going to yield peace and a harvest of righteousness. So regardless of how frustrating that it may get, you may feel, keep doing it. So now, one of the first things that I want you all to understand when it comes to the 5 financial foundational factors is number 1, mindset. Now, I'm not going to go over this again. The previous video I did on mindset. So please watch that if you haven't watched it already. I will just go over the three things that I want you all to think about when it comes to mindset. Triple C. And that is create the curiosity, two, challenge your curiosity, and then three, cultivate your lifestyle. Again, those three things will help you when it comes to your mindset. Please watch the previous video. I'll talk about all of it. All right. So now let's go into two. The second thing is kind of where I actually left off on the first video where I was talking about mindset, and that is your goals. So the second thing that you have to do is create goals. Now, what are goals? Goals are going to be a desired achievement or milestone that you will accomplish by a certain time. Simple as that. If the achievement is to create a checking account or the milestone is to have saved $5,000, as long as you did it by a certain time, that is the goal. Now, when you are setting up your goals, you want to have two types of goals: short term, long term. When it comes to short term, I will classify a short term goal as something that's going to be accomplished within 1 month up until 3 years. When it comes to long term goals, I'm going to say that's going to take 3 to 7 years. All right. And truth be told, it could be way longer than that. It's really up to you, but that's just how I classify it. Now, going back into the short term goals, an example of that could be a savings, you creating your savings account. If you stated that, hey, I want to save my first $1,000 by the end of 2025. Well, as of today, it is, what's today? Today is September 16th. So you would essentially have just under 4 months to get your $1,000 saved. That's a short-term goal. It's very doable. You just need to sit down and figure out how you're going to do it. And that is the part that, some people struggle with. They will create the goal, but now their mind is like, okay, how do I do that? What do I need to do? What do you need to do is watch my videos, because I'm here to help you figure out the things that you need to do when it comes to your goals. For my college students, because you all are definitely watching. So for those who don't know me, I'm an actual educator. I've been teaching financial literacy for the last 10 years. Ooh, Jesus. Yes. But in a high school setting. So one of the things that a lot of my students, they are wondering, like, Mr. Burnett, how do I set up a savings? What bank should I go to? What should I do for this? What should I do for that? I'm going to have a video about that. So please know that that's coming down the pipeline. When it comes to your long-term savings, now this is something that could be very powerful. Let's just say you have the desire to buy or purchase your first house. Now, when it comes to getting a house, that's not just something that you can wake up and do. You have to prepare. It's a process to do that. So that may be a long-term goal that you may say is going to happen in 6 years. Cool. Just know let's just say this is year 6. As you're getting closer to year 6, what was a long-term goal is now going to become a short-term goal, because you have been doing all the things necessary to prepare for you in purchasing that house. All right. That's just how it works. And let me also say this: whether you're in college, whether you're in your 20s, whether you're in your 30s, it doesn't matter. If you've never set up financial goals before, and I'm speaking from experience, I remember setting up, like, let's just say you set up 10 goals. All right. Once you begin to accomplish them, you're going to sit down one day and think about, oh my God, I just did that. I didn't even think that I can do that. I just accomplished this. I just made my savings. I just started investing. I just started doing all these things. I'm budgeting on a regular basis and I'm paying this stuff off. You're going to intrinsically feel so good, because you're realizing that you're doing things that you just never thought that you can do. Savings. Now, I know I just used savings in the previous example. I want to dial into this a little bit more so you all have a better understanding of it. Also note that I will be creating a different video with regards to savings. Why? From my high school / college students, building up a savings is a very, very popular thing, or a big request. And I can only imagine for my mid to late 20s and 30 year-old people, it could be the same thing. So please know that I will be creating another video on this. Right now, let's just hit some major points. When it comes to savings, I want you to just think of it like this. In the event something happens, I want to make sure that I am ahead of the game. How do I do that? If I know that my monthly expenses is $2,500 per month, I'm going to tell myself, I want to have in my savings enough to cover me in case something happens for the next 5 months. 2,500, 2,500 times 5 is 12,500. So I will be working diligently to save and set aside 12,500. It's as simple as that. Now, you're going to hear some people say, well, you should start with emergency. It is completely up to you. If you want to just do an emergency savings where you're just putting aside 2,000, 3,000, 5,000, it's all up to you. This is your stuff. What I am suggesting is that you do it. Be consistent and be disciplined enough to do it. That's it. All right. Number four. I don't know why America or Americans have just made this word such a bad word, but budgeting. Yes, we have to budget. There's nothing wrong with it. Don't fear it. All you're doing is organizing your money to understand how much money you have at the end of the month in order to set yourself up for the next month. Also, to set yourself up for future investments. And if I need to pay off debt, or if I want to go to this trip, or whatever. But for some reason, people have this dread about budgeting and they think that it restricts and it limits. It does not. It organizes. All right. Now, when it comes to budgeting, that is where I geek out at. I geek out at budgeting and I geek out at something else that I'm going to tell you all in number 5. But I create budgets for folks. I do one-on-one consultations. I do one-on-one coaching when it comes to that. So if you are interested in that, just click the link in my description and I can get you set up via my Calendly. But I love budgeting. Yeah, it's just, I don't know what it is, but I just love budgeting. All right. Don't judge me. Judge your mama. Number 5. This is the thing that so many Americans are in, including myself. It's keeping a lot of people in bondage. Debt, specifically consumer debt. Now, if you are someone that has debt, but you have a mortgage and you have a mortgage only, or even student loans, I'm not necessarily talking about you. I'm more so focusing on the individuals that have consumer debt. What is consumer debt? Credit cards, personal loans, auto loans, medical, maybe you owe taxes. If you want to include student loans, you can, but definitely I am not talking about mortgage. That's something usually different. Also, a mortgage is considered an installment loan. Installment loans are not as weighty as revolving debt when it comes to your credit report. Again, another video. Let me read this statistic that is kind of alarming. According to the Federal Reserve Bank of New York, the total U.S. household debt was 18.39 trillion in the second quarter of 2025. If I had $1 in 2020, I may have been able to get, let's say, 4 things with that $1. In 2025, I now can only get 2 things with that $1. There's a good amount of people whose salaries are not changing as quick or as fast as inflation. And the example that I just gave is an example of inflation. So when money has less value and they have credit cards, because they don't have the cash flow to cover all the things that they need to cover, they then go into debt. They use the credit cards. They have to get the loans. They have to do those things. For some people, just to survive. Other folks, to give an impression of a perception of how they look. And others, it may be a mixture of both. Regardless, it is something that we have to address. And that is the second thing that I am most passionate about, because I am someone who is going through paying off a lot of debt. And I've helped people pay off debt. I've helped people pay off debt to where they was able to get a car. They was able to get a house. I was able to do all those things through my coaching. So if you are interested in that, and I might do some type of promotion, I'll figure that part out, but helping you create a debt payoff strategy. It's not difficult, but it will require you to budget and be organized with your finances. So I just went over the 5 financial foundational factors that's going to help you and your family propel you to another level, that's going to ultimately help your mindset. Please, 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 if you need to watch this video again, please do so. Remember, number 1 is your mindset. Number 2 is establishing your goals. Number 3 is creating and implementing a true savings. Number 4 is implementing and living on a budget. And number 5 is eliminating any type of consumer debt. If you are able to do this, I can guarantee you that the likelihood of your family and yourself thriving is almost guaranteed. Please, if you love this video, if you like this video, like, subscribe, hit the notification button. I have so much more that I'm going to be giving you all. I hope that I can help you. If you are also looking for any type of literature, I do have an ebook, Recession Proof, where I'm helping families do the very thing that I just told you all in this video. I will talk to you all soon. I'm DB the teacher. Live free. Peace.